Welcome everybody to Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks. Ha! I'm Dr. Cush. I'm going to start saying that as fast as I possibly, just squeeze it into as few seconds as I can to really just, we got to start the show. We're making a cocktail tonight called the Lion of Baltimore, or just Lion of Baltimore. I never saw actually that the was part of it. So Lion of Baltimore, created by a guy named Phil Green, cocktail. So we'll get into all that here in a minute. But what we're going to look at, since this is kind of my thing, we're going to try and classify this one. It has a lot of elements from a lot of different cocktails, and cocktails that we deal with differently when it comes to preparation. So, in order to continue on this whole thing about working on technique, we are going to try and make this cocktail. We're going to successfully make this cocktail twice. We're going to make this cocktail. We're going to split it in half, and then we are going to prepare it in two different ways. We're going to see how much that changes the flavor, the feel, all of that of the cocktail. So this is shaking versus stirring for the cocktail called the Lion of Baltimore. And this right here, wait for it, hold on, is the introduction. Welcome to Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks. I'm, of course, Dr. Cush, along with my barback Kyle. I'm not a real doctor, but I did spend almost 2 decades running some of LA's best bars. After years of teaching classes and training bartenders, I want to demystify the cocktail world for you. Let's try a few new things as I open up my bar to everybody. Belly up, chat, and let's have a drink. Let's have a drink, Dr. Cush. Okay, the Lion of Baltimore. Let's just get into what this cocktail even is. Even at the age that I am at currently, which is at least 21 twice, makes me a very, very competent drinker. Even at this age, I learned a new word today. So Philip Green. Let's talk about this guy. Philip Green is a cocktail historian. Now, there's a surprising fact that I learned about Philip Green. Get to that in a second. Philip Green, cocktail historian, a guy that's, writes about cocktails, probably drinks a few cocktails. He was hanging out in a place called Baltimore, where he lived. Crazy enough. He was hanging out at a place called Chesapeake Bay. Now, Chesapeake Bay, this is the word I learned, is the largest estuary in all of the United States. And I thought, that's cool. Well, they just got a lot of birds around. How fun. Just like, birds everywhere. That, my friends, is an aviary. That was wrong. An estuary, and I'll never, ever have to use more than one word to describe this situation ever again, is when, and get this, salt water and fresh water find each other. Called an estuary. Now, Philip Green named this cocktail after a ship that was moored there called the Lion of Baltimore. And the reason that that holds any significance, and this is what blew me away, Philip Green is a cocktail historian, and Philip Green owned a boat. I'm kind of a cocktail historian myself. I barely own a car. So good for Philip Green getting it done. Anyway, it's a very, very bizarre recipe. I don't know how it's going to work. Never made it before in my life. It holds a lot of different elements from a lot of different cocktails, and we're going to make it here in a second. Let me say hello to the people first. Here's Tiki Court. Cheers to you, Tiki. Yeah, it took a lot of you guys a long time to get here. I was a little nervous that maybe I take the Saturday off and everybody just forgets about me. My wife says I have to stop worrying about that, but I'm going to. To the very end. Greetings to our good friend Moose, who does in fact have a sound effect, and it sounds just like this. We call vamping. Good to see you, Moose. Who else we got in here? It's Tiki Court and Moose going back and forth for a while. Then we got Amy Beer. Good evening to you, Amy Beer. Amy Beer is here. Kyle Tender wants the tiki. I can get that for him. Nailed it. Who else we got in here? Roger G. Happy Tiki Tuesday Cushies. And right after that, Bon Bon. Happy Tiki Tuesday Cushies. Look at these two. 2 little peas in a pod. Whose is it? Okay. Who else we got in here? Oh yeah, we called it out. Twins. That is Bon Bon right here. Tiki Bon Bon, winner of the 2025 Cush Tucky Derby. Hope that she is great. She got Taco Tuesday tonight. Tiki Tuesday to Taco Tuesday. Sounds pretty righteous. Captain Jack and Coke with an aloha. What's going on? Non-touchable. What's up? I can't believe I made it in time. Just in time, buddy. You nailed it. Non-touchable. And I went back and forth was it last week? 2 weeks ago? Non-touchable is doing some amazing things with ice. And I'm incredibly jealous. Here is our good friend, Shawnee Panabaker, with a good evening. Shawnee Panabaker just in time to make it to not miss all of this business. Motu Jen, a lot of fingers crossed. Hopefully, I don't know what that means, but hopefully I'm not in any kind of trouble. Who else we got in here? That's the stuff. So we got be an intimate class tonight. Oh, 21 people watching. There's like 14 of you not saying anything. That's fine. You do not have to say anything at the bar. Okay. Let's get into this Philip Green cocktail. It comes around 2013, I guess. He owned a boat in 2013. I have no idea what a cocktail historian actually makes. Enough to buy a sailboat in Chesapeake Bay, though. So congratulations to Philip Green on all of his success. It's a fairly simple cocktail on the outside, but then when we start to examine it, it starts to get a little weird. There are some specific things that are going to go into it that maybe some of you don't have. I will recommend things to switch them out with. But in the meanwhile, let's start it. We're going to make it in here. We're going to make it in here, and then we're going to put it back into this. We're going to be shaking half of this cocktail, and we're going to be stirring half of this cocktail, and we're going to decide whether or not this is supposed to be a shaken cocktail or a stirred cocktail. Let's get into why we think it's a shaken cocktail, right? We're going to reach down here. We're going to grab out this fresh lime. This is fresh lime juice. Not much to say about fresh lime juice with it. I haven't said 1,000 times. It is fresh. It is lime. It is juice. 3/4 of an ounce of some fresh lime juice. Normally, fresh lime juice does not come in a bottle. That's how that works. But that is another benefit of making pseudo juice. You got to squeeze those limes anyway. You got a little fresh lime juice whilst you are waiting for your the pseudo juice to gain all of its otherworldly powers. There's that. What do we know about when we put in juice to a cocktail? I know exactly what that is. That means that we are going to shake the cocktail. Great. Excellent. Let's grab another ingredient. This is orgeat. Orgeat. Orgeat is delicious. Lick it off your fingers, delicious. It is an almond liqueur, not a liqueur, an almond syrup. Maybe some orgeat. Is that any orgeat liqueur? I doubt it. I don't think so. I'm gonna say no. Orgeat, it has flower water in it. It has a lot of almonds. Basically, an almond syrup. Delicious. Not necessarily nutritious, which is fine for us. We don't need it to be nutritious, but we don't need a lot of it in this anyway. We're going to start putting in our orgeat. Our orgeat is going in how many quarters? 1/4. 1/4 of an ounce of some orgeat. Looks like, at this point, we're on our way to a Mai Tai, friends. If anybody ever stirs a Mai Tai, they would be crazy. It'd be a crazy thing to suggest to somebody that they stir the Mai Tai. It's not how you do it. However, at that point, we sort of lose the thread on us making a Mai Tai. What we're going to do now is put in an ingredient that can absolutely make this cocktail go haywire. It can go weird. It can go off. It can be bizarre. It is going to be sweet vermouth. Yes. I know you're all saying to yourselves, Cush, don't you say to put vermouth in a lot of things? I do say to put vermouth in a lot of things. Sweet red vermouth tastes, just in my opinion, tastes more like wine than other versions of vermouth. Finding a way to sneak some red vermouth into cocktails is a little more difficult than finding a way to put in a dry vermouth. The dry vermouth sort of disappears, whereas sweet red Italian vermouth can sometimes, if it's mixed with the wrong stuff, can give you a bit of a vinegariness. It's a touch of vinegar. We don't want that. However, Mr. Green has a boat. You got to know what he's talking about, right? Have you ever heard of somebody, the boat, didn't know what they're talking about? Probably a few people. We're going to go ahead and put in how many? 1 full ounce of some sweet red Italian vermouth. I am using one of my favorites, Carpano Antiqua, which means antique Carpano. Don't ask me what the rest of it means, though. I don't know what Carpano means. Probably should look it up. All right. Calm it down. Now we need to pick our rums. 2 different rums. Now, this is the only reason that we that anybody would even consider this to be a like a full-on tiki drink, is we are mixing our rums. Yes, there's orgeat, but there's orgeat in the Army Navy. Is that a tiki drink? I don't know. It just because you put orgeat in something does make it a tiki drink? Maybe not. I don't know. Lime in here. There is lime in here. Make it a tiki drink? Not necessarily. Gimlet, not a tiki drink. When we start to mix our rums, I feel like we start going towards that tiki path. And that's what we're doing here. Oh, what's up, BGB? Boop. BGB the Bun was the first person here. He came back. Good to see you. All right. 2 rums. We need 2 rums. These are the rums that Philip Green has decided we need to put in here. And he didn't give us an exact rum. He gave us the ideas of rum. One of them is an overproof rum. Something with a lot of oomph. Something that has some pot stillation in it. And I happen to have something that I think will work very well in here. It is nice and high proof. It's all the way here in the back. There we go. Found it. It's this guy. The OFTD, the old-fashioned traditional dark. But if you know the story, you know that that is not what it's actually named after. There's an expletive in there. And as Bon Bon the bouncer would say, not on this show. Not on this show. So for on this show, the old-fashioned traditional dark. How much? 1 ounce. 1 ounce of an overproofed dark rum. That should be done. We should be, okay, not touchable. Not on this show. Just kidding. That's what it's really named after. Okay, we also need something that is going to give us some oomph. That's all right, buddy. You're good. No worries. We need something that's going to give us some oomph. Specifically, in this recipe, Philip Green, who owns a boat, pretty cool dude, he says we need a funky something. Something with some Jamaican funk. Now, I happen to have something back here that has some funk. I happen to have something that smells a little like burnt tires. I happen to have something back here that has the dunder, that has that Jamaican-ness. Oh, I don't know why I'm building it up so much. It's this guy right here, Dr. Bird. Pretty funky Jamaican rum. Whew! That'll do it. Find yourself a funky Jamaican rum. We are cutting these rums with that sweet vermouth. We are then flavoring them with our almond syrup, our orgeat, and our lime. Seems like it could, in theory, work out. I don't know if this is a cocktail that if I was sitting around and you just gave me a pen and paper and I couldn't taste anything, if I would be able to write this cocktail out, but it's been written out for me. So we're going to take this very funky Jamaican rum, this Dr. Bird, named after a bird and not a doctor. There's a bird called a Dr. Bird, and there's not a doctor called Dr. Bird. Let me throw that in there. All right. When we get specific with our bitters, we like to at least try and mimic those bitters. We need some bitters in this. We need to add something that has some character, something that's not overly sweet, something that has some of that like tree, that like wood, that tree, that wood, that whole thing. So I imagine that Angostura bitters would do you very well. But specifically, Phil Green probably knows this guy very well. This is Dale DeGroff, another cocktail historian and a person whose boat owning status I do not know. I do not know if David Wondrich has a boat. I don't know if Dale DeGroff has a boat. I don't know if, who else? I mean, who else we got? Dave Arnold, not really a cocktail historian. He's a mad scientist. I don't know at what point in my cocktail historianship I will get my own boat. But I'm waiting for it. And it probably won't be in Baltimore. Probably can't afford it in Los Angeles, though, either. So I have to move to a boat-friendly place on the West Coast. Seattle. I'll move to Seattle. This right here is Dale DeGroff's Pimento Dram. There's Pimento bitters. Very nice, very pimento-y. If you guys like allspice dram, this stuff's great. If you like Pimento Dram, pretty much the exact same thing. We're going to be putting in 2 full dashes of this stuff. These are big fat dashes. Yeah. Yeah, non-touch. Yeah, I don't have a floaty. I don't have a dinghy. I don't have a pontoon. I own no seafaring vehicles. 0. And I, as much as most people can be, cocktail historian. Not as good as Philip Green, it turns out. Okay, this is the cocktail right here. Inside of this glass, we have the makings of a Manhattan, like a rum Manhattan, a very, very thick, a very boozy rum Manhattan. We also have kind of a daiquiri, kind of a low lime, low sweet daiquiri. We have the orgeat, which is going to give us some flashback, some, daydream about having a Mai Tai. It's built in a pretty odd fashion. I mean, 3 parts booze, if we're counting the sweet vermouth, that's 3 parts booze to 3/4 and 1/4 of the sweet and the citrus. So is it really a daiquiri? Probably not. Is it a Manhattan? It's got lime in it. Probably not. What is it? I have an answer. I do have an answer for that. We're going to get into it here in a second. Let's figure out how much of this we have so that we can split it exactly. Okay, there's 2 right there. There's 4 right there. We should have about 4 ounces, right? A little bit more. And right here, we have 2.5 ounces. So we're going to go ahead and put in 2 ounces into our stirring. And then we're just going to make everything dirty back here. We're going to put another 1/4 ounce in there. And that should give us exactly that. Then we'll put the rest of the cocktail right in there. Hide these all over the place. And now we have our 2 cocktails. Let's give this, do we think we stirred it enough? Well, we're going to stir it anyway. We're going to get it stirred. Okay, so let's give this a shake. And let's give this a stir, and let's see how it does. Get all of our whipping cubes in here. Remember, when we're stirring, even when we're stirring, lots and lots of extra ice. And when we're shaking, lots and lots of extra ice. A little bit more ice when you're shaking. Because when you're shaking, you're going to melt more ice. So you're going to create more heat, and that's going to give you less ice to... you're going to need more ice to sort of keep that going. So should we do the 1-in-1? Okay, here we go. Ready? Anybody time that? No idea what my time was on that. Stirred for the same amount, shaken for the same amount. Let's see how we, you be quiet. Let's see how we did. I froze 2 glasses tonight in order to be ready for this little experiment. Start with my left hand, it was kind of a mess. All right, let's pour these in. See how we did here. Cool. Okay. So this is the shaken, and this is the stirred. If we were to be making the Manhattan, the rum Manhattan, which this is almost, obviously it would be in the shaken category. But we know that there's lime in here, and one of the rules is if there's juice in it, you shake it. So we shook it. Thank you. I'm allowed to drive because I can do that. Your camera angles are on point tonight, and to be able to switch cameras while you're pouring drinks is amazing. Thank you. I have sometimes, I will tell you this. Sometimes when I am talking to people and I'm like showing them something like, hey, like this is how you chop an onion, I will instinctively move my foot to change the camera angle. Probably, okay, I gotta drink these. I can't tell you all the stories. Okay, let's try, I'm gonna try this one first. This is the shaken one. Sorry, this is the stirred one. Let's see how we did. Nice, bright, strong. For only having 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice in there, lemon is very apparent. Not catching a lot of the orgeat, but we only put 1/4 ounce of orgeat in there. And I'll be honest with you, right now we are using Liquid Alchemist orgeat because I have to. It's getting to the point where that bottle's been sitting there for a while. Okay, let's go ahead and drink this one. Now, this one has many more bubbles. It is certainly colder. It's still, like, if you look at these two right now, this one is still frosty. This one is not. So, this one could be, maybe in this case, you want it to have more flavor forward. Let's see how we did. Colder. All right. Odd. This cocktail from Philip Green, boat owner. He said you got to shake this cocktail. I personally, as I'm sitting here drinking this, would say that the stirred one is better. Now, maybe it's only because the stirred one has all that flavor. Now, if I let this one sort of sit and blossom, it will become bigger, but maybe not. Interesting. Keep drinking. This one tastes waterier, obviously, because there's more water in it. That's how that would work. I think it's this one. Personally, I think that that this cocktail needs, especially if you're picking out those rums like that, it needs to be bigger. Which is odd. I was really expecting that I would like the shaken one better, because as we look at this cocktail, this is the big surprise. This is the big like wrap it all up, Cush. Watch what I'm about to do. I looked at this cocktail and was confused. I said, that's not a sour. It's not a sour. You don't have the sour component in there is not as big as it needs to be to have the sour be the brightening thing. It's not a daisy because there's not a liqueur in there. There's a vermouth, but not a liqueur. I got confused. What is it? I thought for a second, and it's the cocktail that we all always forget when we talk to the dudes. I have it right here. When we talk to the dudes that wrote the cocktail codex, they call for 6 cocktails. Only 6 cocktails. There's a magical 7th cocktail. And if we really look into how this cocktail is built, this is a punch. 1 of sour, 2 of sweet, 3 of strong, 4 of weak, a little spice to make it all nice. Now, the 4 of weak is what is throwing me off now, because we did add a little bit more water to our shaken one. And the shaken one, in my opinion, doesn't have as much of the kaboom. Now, the reason that I'm talking for a while right now and sort of vamping again, just trying to fill my time, is not because I get more ad revenue on YouTube. I do not. After 8 minutes, it's all the same. But I'm waiting for this one to warm up a little bit. Just want to see if we did it. So let's go ahead and try it again. This one's getting nice and warm. And as it gets warmer, I'm tasting the orgeat. Untouchable. Yeah, it isn't a sour, but you probably want the extra air to increase the surface area inside the liquid in order to appreciate the aromas, hence the shaken one being nicer. Yeah, I would, that's exactly what I would say, non-touchable, except as I'm drinking these, I think that the stirred one has a bit of an advantage. So we might have to, okay, so like, when you describe anything, if you're a native English speaker, you will get this. Like, you would never say the red big ball, right? You would say the big red ball. The red big ball doesn't make any sense. Or the red big old ball. You wouldn't say it like that. You would say the big old red ball, right? There's a formula for how you put adjectives on the beginnings of words. There's also something like that in bartending, where like the moment we say there is lime in here, there's juice in here, we immediately say that's a shaken cocktail. But sometimes we're describing something a little different. Sometimes sometimes when we add a different adjective to our cocktail, vermouth, sometimes we want vermouth to be stirred. I'm just coming up with this on the spot, guys. Not a real theory that I've worked out at all. I'm just thinking about it. I prefer this one. I prefer the shaken one. I think that specifically because we sometimes shaking can be like the hops of cocktails. If you mess up a martini, best thing you can do is shake it. Because our good friend Not Touchable just said it, you're increasing the surface area, so you get more. That's more things coming out. You get more bonding of the ingredients, all that. But with this one, we picked 2 very nice rums, the OFTD and the Dr. Bird. Plus, we have a nice vermouth going in here. Those are the star of the show. If we have to start thinking about how a cocktail is actually built, we can start to put it into like, how do we want this cocktail served? Do I want it to taste like a strong daiquiri with vermouth? Or do I want it to taste like a Manhattan that has a little bit of almond and a little bit of lime? I think I prefer the Manhattan version, but some people will prefer the dairy version. So it depends on where you put things, I guess. Gosh, I thought I would come to a different conclusion tonight, but we are learning. We are learning technique, trying This cocktail, which everybody says you got to shake it, and if you look at it, it looks like a daiquiri. When you stir it, I think it does better. Something very important for everybody to try. That is such a simple thing to improve your cocktails. If you're making something at home and you've always shaken it, try stirring it. Try making. They do the same thing, but they do them at different speeds, and they will add different things to it. A stirred cocktail will incorporate all the mess ingredients, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Will incorporate all the ingredients, but it won't add air to it. Shaking will add air, but it will also add more water to it. So find a cocktail. This is your homework. I'm going to give you guys homework from now on. You ready? Here's homework. Find a cocktail that you love making. Something that you make all the time. Something that you have that bottle ready to go. If I said, I'm showing up in 5 minutes, I'd like to have a cocktail waiting for me. You know exactly how to do that. Find that cocktail and do the opposite of what you would normally do. Take a Manhattan and shake it. Take a daiquiri and stir it. See how that changes your cocktail. Today, these are pretty distinct. Now, that unfortunately means that we're going to have to bring Battle Box in soon again. Because I have to decide whether or not I am just being a contrarian. Sometimes I'm just a contrarian on whether or not this one should be shaken or stirred. But for my money right now, no, I'm feeling Battle Box. Yeah, so we'll do a shaken or stirred Battle Box. I didn't have anything planned for Saturday. Why don't we do shaken or stirred Battle Box on Saturday? We will get that going. We'll do a couple different cocktails, and we will shake them and stir them. We will do a Manhattan, and we will do a what do you guys want to do? Manhattan and a Mai Tai. The Manhattan, I told you earlier, you have to shake a Mai Tai. Maybe not. Ever since Stanley Tucci shook a Negroni and I tried it against my nature, I feel confirmed in my beliefs. Wait, sorry. Ever since Stanley Tucci shaked a Negroni and I tried it against my nature, I feel confirmed in my beliefs. I can't tell if Non-Touchable is saying definitely shake a Negroni. But we know, maybe we don't remember, but we know how quickly we forget, how quickly we never knew. We know that a cocktail called a shakeratu is just a liqueur, which has some sugar in it and a bunch of other ingredients and then liquor. If you shake that until you get all those bubbles, it does change the flavor and it actually turns it into a cocktail. So maybe shaking a Negroni, which is technically supposed to be a stirred cocktail, will change it. And maybe taking this sweet vermouth and giving it a shake bruised it. Maybe it ruined it. I don't know. Stirring is better for Negronis, but OFTD needs shaking nonetheless. Got a lot of opinions going on there. Yes. What's up, Pismo? Good to see you, pal. I like this one better. I like that one better. Now that it's a little warmer, let's see. Now that they're both kind of warm. Oh, dang. Now, give me a second. I've held you for too long. I don't want to throw anything weird at the last second. Now that this one's warmer, I don't like it as much. There is a specific temperature, apparently, I like this cocktail at, and now I like, oh, nope. Now I like it in the shaken one. Bon told me how good my camera work was, and then I hit the wrong camera. Oops. I think what we're learning is there's a temperature that we want it at. This one now tastes a little limey, and this one now is sort of hitting its blossom point. All right, well, I can't solve anything tonight. We have to battle box this. So yeah, battle box is coming up. We will have a battle box on Saturday where we will make 2 different cocktails. We will shake them and we will stir them, and we will figure out once and for all exactly what that does to cocktails. And then in about 3 months, we'll forget we did this and I'll do it again. Oh, hello from Taipei. Doug's in Taipei? This is a weird thing to wow, okay. Fun. 1 second. Bonbon, are you leaving us? Are you going on a cruise? My goodness. Okay, that's what I got for you guys. Okay, a little show news. I know that there's not a ton of you here, but there's enough of you here that you guys can tell your friends. I've been called away. We will be back here on Friday. Friday we will be here. So these classes are going to be Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. Maybe Friday we will relitigate the Mai Tai. Maybe we'll make a Mai Tai. Figure out what the Mai Tai. You know, I'll go over my Mai Tai recipe. That way we don't have to go over it again when we do it on Saturday. We'll make a Mai Tai there, and then we will battle box them later this week. So yes, Thursday is moving to Friday this week. Not for everything. Not for like all of your life. I'm not dropping anything on you. Just for what we do. Thirsty Thursday is going to be double fisting Friday. I don't know. Air has a long finish. I don't read every comment. I just can't. Otherwise, I would just sit here and read comments the whole time. But sometimes I have to go back afterwards and see like how Roger even got this, like why Roger even said this. Air has a long finish. Possibly the first time anybody on Earth has ever typed out those words. Can't think of why anybody else would. I'm going to go read the comments and figure it out. Thank you guys for showing up to Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks. Oh, yes. Clear Ice Week. Is Clear Ice Week this week? That sucks. GG Bean says, seems stuck. I do seem stuck. I'm a little stuck. They're watching over on Instagram, though. Okay, that's what I got for you guys. Thank you so much for joining for Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks. We will be back here when? Friday. I will make an announcement. I'll put up on YouTube and the Instagram, and I don't know if anybody's watching on Facebook. I'll throw it up on Facebook too. We'll be back here on Friday, and then Saturday. Saturday will be an end-all be-all. We will finally decide whether or not it is okay that James Bond wanted his martini shaken and not stirred. We will make 2 classic cocktails that are specifically meant to be shaken and stirred, and we will figure it out. Yeah, I love our chat world too. I don't know what this means. Air has a long finish. Just an odd thing to say, Roger. Just an odd thing to say. Okay, that's what I got for you guys. Thank you so much for joining Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks. I'm Dr. Cush. I am going to end. I did do a little bit more work on the bars, so I do just want to throw this up here real quick. I do want to just take us real quick to the volcano, where it's so nice to be inside the volcano. Give us our Cush lights, volcano scene. We'll end here in the volcano. Thank you so much for joining Dr. Cush. I got a light right here now, and it's awesome. It makes me so happy that now it looks like I'm in the volcano too. Thank you everybody for joining Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks. I'm Dr. Cush, and we will see you here on Shaken introduces air. Underestimate the air. Whipped cream lattes. That has a long finish. Dang, Roger. It was deep in the end. Really nailed it. Thank you guys for showing up to Dr. Cush's Exotic Drinks. I'm Dr. Cush, and we'll be back here on Friday to figure out how to make a Mai Tai. You guys know how to make it, but we'll hang out anyway. Let's just hang out. Can we just hang out? Let's just be friends. Until next time, what do we always say? We always say things like, oh, is this going to turn my thing off? We always say things like, bye! Did turn my thing off. Until next time, guys, bye. Oh, dang. Should have hit it on the right time. Until next time, guys, what do we always say? Bye! Bye, and then also... Are you Dr. Jinga Janga? And one more thing. Roger, with his air comments... Are you trying to drive me crazy? Bye! Bye.